Mrs. Howell deserves justice. She deserves justice for what she went through on February 8th, 2016. What Mrs. Howell went through was terrible. But the prosecution has not brought in the right person today. And today, Mrs. Howell, unfortunately, will not get justice. You see, on February 8th, 2016, a man entered Mrs. Howell's home in the Adams Crossing neighborhood. And that man, in the midst of robbing her home, hears her coming through the front door. This man is startled. And when he sees her standing in her kitchen, he shoots her. He shoots Mrs. Howell, and he runs out the back door of her kitchen. He runs out the back door of her kitchen into the woods. And these woods separate the Howell home from LaDon Lane. Now, as the robber is running out through the back door of the house, he looks down at his hands, and he sees this gun. And this gun is the only thing linking him to the crime he just committed. So again, panicked, he throws his gun into the bushes at LaDon Lane. Days later, on February 15th, 2016, Mr. Frank Michael is working. He's a delivery man. And he's working a delivery route on LaDon Lane. And as he's walking up the pathway to his home to deliver this package, he sees in the bushes this gun. And it's shiny, and it looks valuable. Now, Mr. Michael is on some very hard times. His dad just passed away. His mom is disabled. And when he sees this gun in the bushes, he's not thinking rationally. He's thinking with his emotions. He wants to get his family through these hard times. You know it's dumb, but like I said, thinking with his heart, not his head. He takes the gun and decides to sell it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not the case of a robber and a shooter. This is a case of a man on hard times who found some bad luck. Bad luck when he found this gun in the bushes and he decided to sell it, not knowing that it was a gun just used to shoot and rob someone. Now, today, Mr. Boves and Mr. Rivera have the obligation to convince all of you that Mr. Michael did all of these things. And they will be unable to do that. They will be unable to prove to all of you beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Michael did all of these things. Now, like I said to you earlier, Mr. Michael was working his delivery route that day, and so he found this gun. And he's a hardworking man. He's worked all of his life. He's been gainfully employed ever since high school. And like I said to you, he's going through some hard times. His dad just passed away. His mom's didn't have much longer, so he's on some hard times. He's not a robber or a shooter. And I want you to keep in mind today 2 points to help you think about when you're getting through this trial. And those are that, 1, Mr. Michael was not at the home, and the prosecution will be unable to place him at the home. And 2, that Mr. Michael found this gun, like I said, days later, when he was working. Now let's go back to my first point, that Mr. Michael was not at the home, and the prosecution will be unable to place him at the home. And the prosecution will bring forward 2 witnesses. You'll have a chance to hear from Mrs. Howell and Detective Cameron Carter. Now, Mrs. Howell will tell you that at no point was she ever able to identify Mr. Michael as the assailant in her home on February 8th, 2016. at no point. You also have a chance to hear from Detective Cameron Carter. He is the lead detective on this case. And he has the responsibility to collect all of the evidence gathered in this home. He's had the chance to go through and sweep the home for fingerprints. And he'll tell you on February 8th, 2016, he went through the living room. We'll have a chance to look at this photograph of the living room as it was on February 8th, 2016. Now Detective Carter will go through with you and we'll point out that the coffee table in the middle of the living room, the lid is turned up. You'll hear that the Howells didn't do that. Detective Carter didn't do that. And Mr. Michael didn't do that either. You'll see how there are drawers opened in the furniture of the living room. The Howells didn't do that. Carter did not do that. And Mr. Michael didn't do that either. You'll also be able to see a photograph of the kitchen in the Howell home as it was on February 8th, 2016. Again, we'll go through and you'll see there are cabinets open. The Howells did not open these cabinets. Detective Carter did not open these cabinets. And Mr. Michael didn't either. You'll have a chance to go through all of the items in the countertop. Same thing. The Howells did not do this. The Carter did not do this. And Mr. Michael didn't do either. The prosecution will be unable to put Mr. Michael in that home. Why? Because he wasn't in that home on February 8, 2016, around 11:30 a.m. when this murder did occur. And another man was in the home and shot and robbed Mrs. Howell. We also have the chance to hear from Heather Sullivan. And Heather Sullivan will tell you exactly where Mr. Michael was at this time when this murder was taking place. Heather Sullivan was with Mr. Michael. They were having lunch all the way across town, 10 miles away, at Daddy D's barbecue. And they're sure they were both there. Why? Because Heather Sullivan's birthday was coming up, and they make sure to meet up every Monday, but especially this Monday, because it was her birthday. Now to my second point, that Mr. Michael found the gun days after the burglary. On February 15, 2016, Mr. Michael was working his usual delivery route, and he was going through the Adams Crossing neighborhood, and he had a delivery to make on the Don Lane. And he'll tell you that he went through up the walkway and he saw the shiny gun in the bushes, and he was thinking emotionally with all that he was going through. His dad just passed away, his mom was disabled, he's trying to bring his family, they through hard times. So like I said, he wasn't thinking much. I took the gun, it was easy money, he could sell it. Now, Detective Carter confirmed with the delivery company Mr. Michael was working for. He confirmed to make sure Mr. Michael was indeed making this delivery on February 15, 2016, when he says he found that gun. And it's true. The delivery company confirmed to Carter that Mr. Michael was indeed making a delivery on the Don Lane, and he indeed made that delivery on the Don Lane on February 15, 2016. You'll also hear more about this gun, that Mr. Michael's fingerprints were on the gun. Now, there's no doubt to that. We know why that is, because he picked up that gun on February 15, 2016, so he could sell it for some money for his family had. You also hear that Mrs. Howell's prints were on it, because it was her gun. But what's most important to keep in mind today, folks, is that there is a third fingerprint on this gun. And until today, that print has still not been identified. I listened to you earlier. The prosecution has the burden to prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Michael did all of these things. Michael isn't a man that goes into homes and shoots people and robs them. He's a hardworking man. He's worked his entire life. We have proof he was working on the day when he found the gun. You'll hear that he was with his friend on the day the home was robbed and someone was shot in the home. The prosecution has proved to you that he did all these things beyond a reasonable doubt, meaning no doubts must exist that Mr. Howell was in the Howell home, that Mr. Michael, was in the Howell home on February 2016, and that Mr. Michael was the one that shot Mrs. Howell on February 2016. Now, there are far too many doubts to convict Mr. Michael of anything today. And the prosecution will be unable to prove these things to you and meet that high burden. And due to all those doubts and the evidence and the witnesses that you will hear from today, you will surely find that Mr. Frank Michael is not guilty. Good morning, Mr. Howell.
Good morning.
Now you said on, well, first of all, Mr. Howell, I'd like to take you back to February 2016. I know it's a difficult day for you, but just get through these questions. Now, Mr. Howell, you said you were working on February 2016, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
And you said you had come back to your home, is that right?
Yeah, to pick up some paperwork. I was on my way back to the office.
Around what time was this?
That was around 11:30.
So around 11:30, you walk into your home and you go in through the front door, is this correct?
That's usually how I go, yeah. It's the most convenient from where I park my car.
And your front door was locked, was it not?
Yeah.
You know this because you unlocked it, isn't that right?
Well, I mean, how else would I get into the house?
Now, Mr. Howell, when you unlock your door, what room are you in?
The living room?
And you're in your living room. And when you look at your living room, it's a complete mess, is it not?
Yeah, it was very messy. Drawers were open, cushions from the couch were thrown around. Yeah.
One minute, Your Honor. Your Honor, permission to approach the witness?
Sure.
Your Honor, permission for my co-counsel to distribute photographs to the jury?
What photographs?
Now, Mr. Howell, you were in your living room, isn't that right?
Yeah.
All right, you withdraw. We're not going to distribute any photographs now, right?
I'm going to hold off on that for now, Your Honor.
All right.
Permission to approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yeah, let's do that.
Mr. Howell, I'm going to show you a picture of your living room in your home as it was on February 8, 2016.
That's it?
Your Honor, this picture is stipulated as authentic and the defense offers it into evidence as Exhibit 3.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, at this time I would ask my co-counsel to distribute photographs to the jury.
Yes. Just copies of the photograph just came into evidence.
Yes.
You just hand one stack to the first jury you can reach, okay?
Now, Mr. Howell, pointing attention to your picture of your living room, you see the coffee table in the middle of your living room and how the lid is turned up?
Yep.
Did you turn up that lid?
No, I think your client did when he was looking for stuff to steal.
Mr. Howell, you see these drawers on your center console and how they're opened?
Yeah.
Did you open those drawers?
No, your client did.
Mr. Howell, you see these cushions on your sofa. Did you overturn those cushions?
Nope, again, the defendant did.
Now, Mr. Howell, looking at this photograph, through the back of your living room, you can see into your kitchen. Is that right?
That's right.
Now, Mr. Howell, after you'd walked through your living room and seen all of this, you proceeded to walk into your kitchen. Is that right?
Right.
and you walked into your kitchen because you heard a noise coming from what sounded like it was your master bedroom, isn't that right?
Yeah, it was your client stealing all my cash and my
Now,
laptop.
when you walked into your kitchen, everything was also in a complete mess, isn't that right?
Yes.
You're on permission to approach the witness.
Sure.
Mr. Howell, I am handing to you what is a photograph of your kitchen in your home as it was on February 8, 2016. Your Honor, this photograph has been stipulated as authentic, and the defense offers it into evidence as Exhibit 4. Your Honor,
Okay.
permission for my co-counsel to distribute the photographs of the living room to the jury.
Any
Just for
objection?
record purposes, I'd like to say I'm not objecting.
Okay. And yes, you may distribute copies.
Now, Mr. Howell, pointing your attention to your kitchen, you can see some drawers have been opened, correct?
Yep.
Did you open those drawers?
No, I didn't open those drawers.
Now, looking at your cabinets have been opened as well, isn't that right?
That's right.
Did you open those cabinets?
I most certainly did not.
And on your countertop on the far end of the kitchen, some items have been overturned, isn't that right?
Yeah, it's a mess.
Did you overturn those items?
No, I did not.
You put the photograph down, Mr. Howell. Thank you. Now, Mr. Howell, as you are standing in your kitchen and you're observing this mess, you see someone in your hallway, correct?
Yes.
And when you see someone in your hallway, you turn into your hallway, isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
To look at this man, correct?
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Howell, it was dark in your hallway, was it not?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't home, so the lights were off.
Now, Mr. Howell, were you able to get a good look at this man's face?
I was able to get a good enough look to give the detective general description.
Now, Mr. Howell, were you able to look at this man's eyes and see what color his eyes were?
I was not able to determine the color of his eyes.
And you weren't able to see if he had a big nose or a small nose, isn't that right?
No, I wasn't able to really get all the intricacies
You
of
weren't
his
able to
facial
see if he had
features.
a beard or a mustache, isn't that right?
No.
Now, Mr. Howell, I'd like to turn your attention to when you did a photo array with Detective Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at some point, you did a photo array, isn't that right?
Yeah, we did.
And you looked at 6 photographs in this array, correct?
I did, yeah.
Now, in those 6 photographs was a photograph of Mr. Michael, isn't that right?
Yes, he was among the group of photos.
And isn't it true, Mr. Howell, that at no point were you ever able to identify Mr. Michael in those photographs?
That's true.
And isn't it also true, Mr. Howell, that at no point were you ever able to identify Mr. Michael as the assailant in your home on February 8, 2016?
Not in the photo array, no.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay.
Hello,
Good morning, Ms. Sullivan. Could you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
my name is Tyler Sullivan, Sullivan.
Ms. Sullivan, what do you do for a living?
I currently work for the government. I'm a budget analyst.
And how long have you been a budget analyst for?
It's going on about 5 years now.
And Ms. Sullivan, I'd like to talk to you about your educational background. What did you do prior to being a budget analyst?
Well, I went to junior college and I got an associate's degree in business.
Ms. Sullivan, the prosecution is saying that your friend Mr. Michael was at the Howell home on February 8, 2016 around 11:30 a.m. Is this possible?
No.
And why is that, Ms. Sullivan?
Well, that's because Mr. Michael Frank, he was with me.
And where were you and Mr. Michael at around this time on February 8, 2016?
We were at Daddy D's barbecue.
Do you and Mr. Michael meet frequently at Diabetes on Mondays?
Yeah, we actually have a standing lunch and we go to Daddy D's around 11:30, most Mondays.
Ms. Sullivan, is there a reason why you meet around 11:30 on Mondays?
Yeah, well, that's because everybody in downtown Atlanta knows that Daddy D's gets really busy at the lunch rush. So we go around 11:30 just to beat the rush.
Now, Ms. Sullivan, are you familiar with the Adams Crossing neighborhood?
Yes, I am.
And you're aware of where Dieties is located?
Objection, leading, sorry, apologize.
Your Honor,
Sustained. You just need to change 2 words, but please be careful about how you phrase your questions.
Ms. Sullivan, are you aware where Dieties is located?
Yes, I am.
Ms. Sullivan, where is Dieties located in relation to the Adams Crossing neighborhood?
Well, Daddy D's is located on Memorial Drive, right downtown across from the Capitol. And Adams Crossing is in northwest Atlanta, so they're not close at all.
And Ms. Sullivan, given that they're not close at all, would it be possible for Mr. Michael to be at the Howell home in Adams Crossing on February 8, 2016 around 11:30 a.m.?
No, it wasn't. It wouldn't be possible.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, cross